There is little doubt that witches were perceived to be vile beings who could bring misfortune down upon common folk with their gaze alone. The heroes of fairy tales and other yarns, witches entered the folklore of the Nordlings. This is true of one especially, Geralt the Riv, known as the White Wolf.
Rolling dung, you...
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf who then did what he was told.
The local peasants love Saskia.
Those surly dogs would gleefully accept a heavy pouch. Show me a serf with any sense of honor.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
He's got a point.
Change your tone when we put a sickle to your throat.
Shut
Save
up.
your threats for your hog.
Why is he lingering about? Like the stench in a dwarven hovel?
Those witches be craving gold. This one's sure to say the prince is innocent, then sting Stennis for a pouch.
He better search for a lad who served the Virgin instead of pissing around.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take care of the magnets. Throwing their weight about too much they are.
The prince stood right next to Saskia during the council. Did he have access to the wine cellar beforehand?
How should I know?
Why flap your mouth then?
Oh,
The prince is a
sick
wealthy
burn.
lord.
Sick
Bribing
burn.
a skivvy to poison the wine is nothing to
Yeah,
him.
but that's really dumb.
Just because someone can afford gold teeth doesn't mean they'll pull their healthy ones.
Yeah.
You know Saskia's servant?
Willie of the Oblates. He handled the wine, indeed, but loves the Virgin like a sister and mother put together.
He'd gladly get quartered for her.
Where's this Willie of yours?
Hiding in his shack, afraid of them lords. Squirrels guard him.
Bye.
Farewell.
Give us this horplower. Enough of this charade.
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough. Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel.
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
True.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why. The mongrel covets the crown.
How would that help?
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her, he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the Virgin sips it.
Yeah, I just...
A good point. We can't be sure if the prince poisoned the wine.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanting to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
He's got a point.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
True.
Answer me this. Was not Stennis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes. His serene Damed the prince can Curses on his kin.
I really don't like the
Nobody in
prince.
Bergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they wanted, nobody but Stennis could do it.
That actually makes sense. That is guesswork, though.
It appears Stennis would benefit the most from Saskia's death.
True.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins.
True.
What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Eden? Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her.
True.
And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Eden, can judge me. Can it? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you? I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign!
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
It's not a bad plan.
So you've forgotten how you tried to bribe me when I was at your house?
Oh!
How about that, snout face?
This is slander.
There are no witnesses, Witcher.
I think a lynching is a bad idea.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
Yeah, we saw that in Flotsam. I still don't trust the prince. He's kind of an asshole, really.
The peasants are furious,
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
but they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness,
She won't keep order by strength alone.
True.
unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure, and royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
What?
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No, anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
From where?
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.
This is a terrible, terrible, terrible plan. Why are all of my plans awful? I have to get Henselt's blood. This is just wonderful. It's a terrible idea. Tame, let's read the bottom of this. Stennis was captured. Geralt had only one source of royal blood remaining, Henselt. So Henselt is on the other side of the mist. He's that old bearded dude. Let's go talk to Philippa first, though. I think it's probably a good place to start. Kind of what I'm feeling right now, so let's go talk to Philippa and see what she's got to say for herself. See if it's anything worth hearing. Yeah, that did not go. That didn't go terribly. Didn't go well, but yeah, that wasn't awful. Okay. Alright, and we pop. The fuck? What the fuck? Every time I walk in here. Ooh.
I tried locating Triss, but the mist disrupts the megascope. There's a weak signal nearby, probably on the other side.
Typical.
In the Kidweni camp?
You'll have to pass through the mist.
God damn it.
The mist is full of wraiths.
I'll help you. I'm continuously scanning the battlefield. I'll show you the way through. I'll find you when you enter the mist.
Okay.
Farewell, then.
We still need royal blood.
I know. Henselt.
We need his blood, not his death.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not a Kingslayer?
Philippa is into some interesting shit. I'll say that much. I ain't gonna begrudge it though. I mean, you know, has everybody got a thing they need to do? You know what I'm saying? Hers just involves whips sometimes, which is fine. You got anything else to say?
You wanted to
You said I needed to find one.
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevesig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to do...
At the council, you mentioned artifacts were needed to undo the curse.
But I can't look for them now.
I can do that.
True.
Why?
I have my reasons. Tell me something. Know anything about blood curses?
Do you?
We're dealing with a 4th level curse, also known as the Curse of the Archmistress.
Well, well, I'm impressed.
Thing is, until now I thought it was only a myth, that such a curse couldn't be cast.
You thought wrong. There are 6 confirmed cases of this curse being inflicted.
It's not
What
many.
about confirmed cases of it being lifted?
1. Achieved by a team of sorcerers led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear, hence the curse's other name.
Ah.
Sabrina Glevesig was on the team.
Small world.
That's not all. The curse investigated by Francesca and Sabrina was designed to end the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Culveyhouse. They were cursed by Scarlet Rodalega, a complete madman, but very talented. An eclipse and wraiths also accompanied his curse.
Yeah.
So Sabrina's curse is just a knockoff Rodalega.
Exactly.
Clever. Alright. I know enough.
I'm good for now. I'll let you know when I learn something.
Some fucking bright light through that top window, man.
There is little doubt that witches were perceived to be vile beings who could bring misfortune down upon common folk with their gaze alone. The heroes of fairy tales and other yarns, witches entered the folklore of the Nordlings. This is true of one especially, Geralt the Riv, known as the White Wolf.